Hey, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Hey everyone, this is John Allister, and I just got back from the movies. I just got back from seeing The Batman, and I'm going to give you a short review here. It's not going to be that long, and it's not going to have any spoilers in it. I'll give you one with spoilers later when the movie actually makes its way to physical media, to Blu-ray, DVD, 4K. So I'll give you the full review at that point in time. So right now we're just going to give a brief review of how I enjoyed the movie, what I thought about it. I did really enjoy it. It was a long movie though. We're talking Avengers level long. So this movie was just short, just shy of 3 hours long, sitting in at 2 hours and 56 minutes. Ooh, it was a little hard to sit through for that long. And my eyes had to kind of adjust. I had to adjust for a couple minutes outside because that movie is dark, let me tell you. It is a dark movie. If you are going through some rough times right now, or you're depressed, or you've got low self-esteem, or you're just going through a rough time emotionally, this is probably not the best movie to go see because almost every scene in that entire film is dark. That's why I decided, if you haven't noticed already, I've decided to film this in the dark with the lights turned out in my bedroom here because I wanted to make this a dark review. It's a dark review. It's dark. So, anyway, basically what I thought of it. I enjoyed it. It's not one that I would say like for the collection. As there's a saying going around with my friends, we always say, well, this is the one for the collection. We see a movie and it's like, if it's really worth it enough to buy it when it comes out and put it in the collection, we'll say, oh, it's worth it. It's one for the collection. But this one, I would say it's one for the collection, but not when it comes out. This is one that you get like on Black Friday or when there's a good sale down the road, at least for me. And I will add a disclaimer before I go any further, and that's that I am a Marvel fanboy. I love the MCU. I'm not too big into the comics, but I really love the MCU, the movies, the films. I love them, and I'm much more in line with that than the DC universe. I like the DC movies and the whole DC universe also, but not anywhere as much as I just love and adore the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's where my heart lies, so to speak. So with that said, you can take this review with a grain of salt. So you can take it just with a tiny grain, a tiny hair, because it's going to be very biased probably, but we'll see. You can let me know down in the comments below if you feel that it is. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and dive in to this review. Okay, so there's a lot going on in this film, and I don't think I can really say too much without spoiling some of it, at least, more than I already have with the dark tone. So as I just said, it's very dark film. There's a few scenes, maybe like 4 or 5 maybe, that take place in the daytime, but it's like overcast, it's raining, it's gloomy outside still. So I will say that much. If you want to see some sunshine, this is not the movie to see some sunshine. If you're looking for something brighter, this is not it. So starring as Batman, it's not Ben Affleck like it has been in the previous films. This time around, it's Robert Pattinson, and this is an actor who I'm not that familiar with at all, actually. I haven't even heard of him. I had to look the movie up to even know that this was the guy playing Batman. So, but apparently he's been in Twilight, and I remember I saw the first movie, but I haven't seen any of the rest of them, and I guess he was a lot younger in that one. And he was also in Tenet, apparently, which I hadn't noticed. I saw that movie, but I never paid attention that much to notice him playing it. But he was good in this. He acted very, very good acting in the film. Everyone who played in this film was really excellent. The acting was great. The main thing out of the movie, I think, was the acting that really stood out in it. It's very gritty, very like a crime filled. Like this is basically it takes place in the city of Gotham, the fictional city of Gotham, and it's just very it's pretty much a trash city. Like the streets are there's homeless people everywhere, there's crime everywhere, graffiti, just rundown neighborhoods. Like it's like if you took like New York City, Chicago, and Detroit and combined them into one city, this is what you get basically is Gotham. So first off, when you first start the movie off, it's very political. It's very politicized. I'm not going to spoil too much, but basically there's campaigns going on and there's people are running for mayor and things happen and the whole political landscape shifts and there's a lot going on with the police force there and there's questions about different sides and it was very neat to see that they introduced another sort of vigilante character, and I won't say who it is, but I thought her performance was almost better than the Batman's performance. His was really great, but she really sort of came through as sort of the sidekick role, which really, if that's to give you any hint, I'm not going to go into any details there, so you probably guess who it is, but very good. And of course, if you all know Batman, you know there's Commissioner Gordon, who is also really great acting in this, and his character really stood out too. And there was another one, I forget the guy's name, but there was another character that he was sort of like the comedic undertone of he sort of added the comedic flair that this movie really needed to sort of fill out that full almost 3-hour runtime. We needed some comedic relief in there, and there was one character, sort of a very side character, but he really provided the comedic relief that we needed. There were a couple of moments in there which was like, wait, really? There's no way. Like like some of those action or like thriller movies or even superhero movies where things happen and it's like there's no way that would happen in real life if this was actually real. That's just impossible. Like the chances of getting struck by lightning it's more likely that would happen than for what happens in the film to have happened. It's like a sort of investigative thriller in a sense. Like there's some action in it. There's really only like maybe 3 or 4 like real main action sequences. So a lot of the movie is just more dialogue and more engaged in discourse than actually action and really building your plot and the exposition. It's more based on that. So the audience knows what's going on. So you really learn about these characters and learn, of course, we know the past. Pretty much we don't need to go back to the past. They do delve into the past of around Bruce Wayne's past and what happened. Of course, we know his parents both died. That's no secret. That's not a spoiler. They were both killed. And so this touches on that a little bit, and there's some connections there. It's sort of like towards, well, I'm not going to say it's like after the halfway point, like we kind of get more into that, and it kind of is tied into it, but it might not be the biggest plot point out of the other things going on, but it's really about unmasking, sort of peeling back the layers that define what a person is, or even a place. So like the city of Gotham, people taking matters in their own hands, bringing about justice themselves. There's a lot of the ideology that the people will take things into their own hands, and we're not just going to rely on the government to do it, on the leadership of the city or of the country to fix the problems that are going on in the world. And so in this city, there's, with all the crime, there's drugs everywhere, there's of course homeless people and rundown places. And with all that going on, there have been failed attempts to try and restore and reinvent, so to speak, this city of Gotham and restore it. But it's really focusing on Gotham itself. It's not necessarily taking, well, what's going on in the rest of the world. We don't see too much of that, but this is about Gotham and the people and the sort of the upbringing of the city and how things have sort of fallen apart, how there's been failed attempts to really restore the underbelly of the city, to bring back what people want Gotham to be. And so that's sort of where we're at when we start the film. It's things are not good in this, but there were some questions that were brought up. Like there was a question that was asked in the film. It's very interconnected, and to really know what's going on, you've got to sort of be alert. It's not the kind of film where you're just like eating your popcorn and you're zoned out. And I will say, at almost 3 hours, I zoned out a few times. Like I kind of got disconnected, especially in the later half. I was like, okay, it's dragging on, and it's like it was still good, but I was just zoning out. And it's to really follow it the whole time. I think if you're really going to know every little detail what's going on, you do kind of got to be alert and awake and not zoned out. It's not one of those movies to just be like, oh, I can just be brain dead. I can just be a mindless zombie right now and just be vegged out on the couch while I'm watching this. It's a very grappling film. So, if you like grappling hooks, you'll love this movie. Quite honestly, those are some of the best action sequences that I've ever seen in a movie. Really. Definitely my favorite in the entire film. If there's any reason to like Batman as a character, it's because of the gadgets, especially the grappling hook. And the car. The car was pretty darn cool too. If you like the Saw franchise and the Saw movies, there is some of that kind of going on here too. Like there's some brutal stuff going on. I mean, it's not going to be gory. It's not like the really extreme, like you're going to see a lot of stuff going on the screen, but there is some stuff going on. It's some pretty brutal, some pretty messed up stuff going on here. Really, at least the first half of it, to me, I kept thinking like this is like totally like a lesser, like a more censored version of Saw. That's basically what this is, right? That's what I felt. So I don't know if any of y'all feel that way. You can let me know if you felt the same for a lot of the movie. But I really felt like it really sort of like there was some influence or some inspiration from the Saw franchise. So I'm pretty much going to wrap this review up. It's not that long, but I will do a much more detailed, in-depth review with spoilers later on when the film actually releases, maybe a little after that, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting this day one when it does come out on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, and that such, but I will be doing a review some point, probably not too long after, whenever they have like a pretty decent sale on it. I'll go ahead and get it and do the review on that. But we'll see. I might change my mind on that. So to wrap things up here, did I enjoy it? Yes, I really enjoyed it. It's a solid film. I mean, it is dark. So like I said, it's dark, and it depends on kind of the mood that you're in. If you're not in a great mood, I wouldn't recommend seeing it. But if you're up for it and you don't mind that, and you like the characters' acting was really excellent, some of the best acting in this type of a film, I think, at least in a while. And yeah, just go see it. I do recommend it. Do I recommend it? Yes. Go see the movie. You will enjoy it. If you're not down in the dumps, you will enjoy it. Okay, so I am moving into the light finally, so now you can see my face. You can actually see me coming out of that movie now. So this pretty much wraps up my review. But before I go, I want to ask you all a question. What must be done now to keep what's yours from reaching you later? So if you made it this far, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think the answer is, and I'll let you know if you got it right. So thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. And I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Take care now.